Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if that went through or not, but I just wanted to say welcome to the Ascension sessions. Thank you so much for being here. It's Friday, April 24th, and I'm here and joining us.
Oh, it's always a joy. When we come together, there's always so much energy and vibration. And like you mentioned a little bit earlier, especially in these times right now when we are going to so much transformation and purification, that it's very important to still get together and
Hmm.
also commune with one another and stay connected to everyone and form this network globally as a
Yeah,
network.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a difficult time for everyone, and I just feel grateful that I can be here and provide this type of content for people who are struggling right now. So, if you guys are here, can you say hello? I'm just going to check the connection and make sure we're actually streaming because, okay, we are.
Good, good.
Yeah, we are streaming. And hi, John. I see you there in the chat room. Having a problem seeing my own stream in my back end here, but I can see you guys. So if you're in the chat room, please say hello. If you have a question for Viviane tonight, please put it in all caps. That way I can see you and see your question rather and ask her. Uh, Hi, Jeff. We have Jeff and John in the chat room so far. And I'm going to go ahead and read your bio, Viviane, so that for the people who don't know Viviane or who haven't seen her previous video, you'll get to know a little bit more about her. But we did interview her back in March, I believe it was, or February. So please go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it already. So Viviane Chauvet is an is internationally interviewed. Her inspirational life story as a biological Arcturian hybrid, cosmic ambassador, spiritual teacher, speaker, and interstellar conscious channel has touched the heart and souls of thousands of people worldwide. She has collaborated with J3 Films, production cast, and crew on the award winning second documentary, Extraordinary The Seeding, as a hybrid consultant, and she will be featured in their third upcoming documentary. Viviane is also listed as a practitioner in energy healing for the Disclosure Support Group. Viviane Chauvet is the owner of Infinite Healing from the Stars and co owner of Energies of Service. Our successful holographic healing practice and intuitive consultation assists people consciousness. Viviane is a conduit for higher intelligence at an inspiring level and a universal facilitator to restore the balance between the sacred feminine and masculine polarities. As a galactic healer and mentor, she channels source energy and Arcturian frequency to assist humanity and all sentient life forms to reascend. Wow, what a beautiful bio you have.
Thank you. It's been perfected over the years.
Yes, well, I can vouch for a lot of that information in there. I've worked with Viviane on a number of occasions, and being in her presence with the collective, it's a very powerful experience. And if you guys end up feeling a connection or resonance with Viviane as you get to know her tonight, I would definitely reach out.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what a crazy time we're in right now. with all of this, upheaval, death, rebirth. There's so much happening on the planet globally. People are going through just such a major shift of energies. Um, I wanted to ask you how your week has been and what stands out for you that's happened this week. It's Friday, we're wrapping up the week now, and we've been through so much. So how's your week going?
Well, thank you for asking, Sherry. I feel like many of us, I trust, that this week has been a very condensed, it's almost like a little bouillon or soup, very, very condensed. And we can feel that it's been really several day by day invitation to go through purging really old paradigm. It's almost like having a fever that's coming up, and then your body start to get hot and warm, and then the toxin coming out of your body. It's been
Oh,
a week.
you're back. You
Okay.
you you cut out for a second, but you're
Oh,
back
okay.
now.
Yes, the connection does that. It buff a lot, and sometimes I lose you. I have to wait, and then you come back again.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to from where we are. This week has been a week of allowing changes to come through and transformation, letting go of attachments, allowing, um, saying goodbye. I today, just a few hours prior to this interview, my a very close member of my family transformed on the other side, and I got a phone call.
Oh.
So we are in this energy when I can feel my collective is saying this is a really good, a prime example of allowing the bridging between our human experience when our heart
Mhm.
ache and our heart center is throbbing, going through a lot of changes, people transforming, having to go through those transformation, and also remaining connected to higher source. And so I can feel my collective at the same time. I can feel them going, you need to honor your heart. I can feel grief, I can feel
Mhm.
sadness, I feel those emotions. And it's been preparing all week. I can been feeling it's been a team all week. At the
Mhm.
same time, I chose to remain zen in the process um, in terms of how the emotions are coming through,
Mhm.
and allow myself to go through them and without having to overanalyze. And that's one thing also that we do is that sometimes we overanalyze everything, and the lower mind kicks in, and then all this chattering of what we should do and try and this, and then it
Mhm.
kind of almost push us to force to do things that we this higher part of ourself, the wisdom part of ourself feels that it's not the time. So to be having wisdom to recognize that is a time to
Mhm.
recognize, a time to withdraw, a time to go inward, a time to honor how we feel, to recognize that right now I'm feeling more vulnerable, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's because when I'm feeling more vulnerable, more sensitive, it's an opportunity to allowing our heart to be more open and stay connected. So
Mhm.
right now, definitely tonight, I can feel it on a very personal level, and I know that it will show in the demeanor of my team will be more gentle, will be more heart-based energy. I can feel in my heart center throbbing a lot.
Mhm.
So, and even into facial expression, and allowing all those changes to go through,
Yeah.
because even as human beings, we know that there's so much more to us. At the same time, what is the reconciliation is to honoring when is a time to heal, and is it a time to blossom, a
Mhm.
time to expand, and a time to connect. And so allowing the changes as they go, and without forcing anything, without imposing ourselves, barriers or obligations of work, or, I need to push myself, I should be doing this, or this is just the lower mind talking into patterns. And yeah, same here. I cannot hear you either.
I apologize if that was loud. Can you hear me?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
the same thing on your hand. Your screen freezes.
Sorry about that again.
I was hoping to talk to you before, but it's okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this will free up some bandwidth so we don't keep having these sound issues because sometimes the recording does that. So I apologize for the interruption. And first of all, I'm so sorry to hear about your family member. You know, really sorry for your loss. And I know that this is a difficult time for you on a personal level. And thank you so much for still coming on the show, even though you're, you just received this news. It's very fresh for you and everything. So I really appreciate you still showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, and I love what you said about wisdom and going within. And there was something else you said that really resonated with me. Oh yeah, you said the lower mind. I feel like I was completely in agreement when you said that. I feel like this week for me personally, the challenge has been to stay out of see when that happens. So, am I frozen right now?
You were, and the
Okay.
sound was out.
But yeah, so I think that has kind of been the theme for this week for me as well, which is partly why I wanted to do a digital detox this week. So that was pretty great that I was able to do that and kind of unplug a little bit. And what have you noticed, like in your clients' healing needs? Have the needs shifted at all in terms of like what you're no you what you're used to seeing? I'm just wondering how people are processing this collectively.
Yes, there definitely does. I noticed a theme or a pattern. Anything that the shadow part of ourselves, the shadow's energy are coming back to the light even more so. And I've seen it whether it's to toxic relationship that's been healed, whether it's to, past life, course of attachment, karmic ties. You can see all what's called the shadows part of oneself are
Hmm.
coming back to the surface in many different ways. I've seen it whether it's an attachment around the spine, whether it's people experiencing very intense, deep emotions that almost like a roller coaster that brings them back into the depth of embracing those shadows, recognizing them. So it's like pulling old roots out of the earth and going, oh my God, look at all of this space that is being
Hmm.
created. And the purging process comes with also a lot of compassion and a higher understanding, and also applying the art of detaching from these cords of these toxin coming up to the surface, and just recognizing them for what it is, whether it's from trauma of the past, imprint, limiting beliefs that became over time core values. I've seen that in the body matrix, the weight, even the body, and especially when the spine, when I see the spine out of balance, or I had a lady, her cervical were energetically disconnected from her skull, and it was
Wow.
creating, oh yeah, definitely was a disconnect. And then what happened is that it create a disconnect that she could majorly felt and experience in her life in multiple ways.
Hmm.
And so reconnecting those aspects for her was very important. And the
Hmm.
understanding is that the process behind it. And of course, everybody goes into a very, very beautiful and intense integrative process after that to be able to understand how everything is coming back and understanding the bigger picture. So this has been a very big commonality, and also,
Hmm.
even attack or infiltration from dark energy, different kind of beings. It's almost like it's very intense right now because we're about to gain a very important planetary purging. And this is something that we have collectively, created and worked for a long time. And we're coming to a very important spiritually accumulation point.
Can you hear me?
And now I can. Welcome
Okay.
back.
Yeah. Thank you. Would you mind just repeating that? Because I know what you were about to say was very important, and I want to make sure everyone catches that.
Of course, naturally.
You said that as a collective, we've been working on this for a long time, and we've been working on this purging.
Yes, and we're reaching a spiritual accumulation point. Think of it as a peak or a junction, and so we can see that things seems to get worse, and things feel very intense, and things seems to go through opposite direction or down the drain, which in reality it's the push and that spiritual accumulation and that junction we're moving into. And
Mm-hmm.
so it reflects to loop it back to your question, it really reflects in terms of my clients' needs when they come, and they're very very clear about being ready to resolve all of this, to come to full circle, to be able to move forward, to be able to, transform into a higher version of themselves that they know it's about to come out. And it's almost like the butterfly just on the verge of coming out of the cocoon, and it feel it's going to take a peak or a height. And so just at that breaking point, we're about to go into a very profound transformation. And that's been a very, very repeated theme going on, especially as of late. It's very much more intense.
Mm-hmm. What does the collective say? Just first of all, just for the people who don't know you or your work, Viviane works with a collective of Arcturian beings, and so she receives a lot of guidance, and they also assist with her energy healing work. And so, what I wanted to ask you was how um, what are they saying about the current status of the earth and where we are in this shift in terms of the great purging, you know uh, I guess I feel like we're at the beginning of this bigger timeline, but I feel like we're also right to about to go into this major mini timeline that's going to affect the bigger timeline. So can you speak on that a little bit?
Yes. So just to explain a little bit better in terms of my connections, being an Nocturne hybrid,
Mm-hmm.
of course, I am blended and connected with a large portion of our awareness, the Nocturne collective awareness. But I also connect with different beings, a different sphere of reality. Whether it's guardians, masters, and different level of interstellar being that we interconnect with. So it's very a large network of communication, if you would.
It's a diverse group.
It's a very devised group, and
Mm-hmm.
but eventually my team will be from the Octurne Collective with my father. So what's going on the
I
planet right
think
now?
you're cut. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
We can't hear you.
Okay. I haven't changed anything.
Okay, you're back.
I haven't moved or changed anything.
No, I know. It's just
It's the
the
connection
it's
tonight that goes
yeah,
on and off.
yeah. The sound's going
Can you
out.
still hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Can you see me?
Yes, now I can see you. Okay.
Okay.
It was just going on and off. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. We
Can you
can
hear
hear.
me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So looking at going back into
this bad. I think in the evening all the kids are done with their schoolwork and they all jump on their devices and the whole bandwidth just gets sucked up.
Yes.
That's my theory. Okay, I can hear you now.
You can still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just switch audio just in case if it makes a difference to help to improve. But I think you're right, the demands are high. The
Mm-hmm.
demands is really high right now, so we'll have to, like we say, roll with it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. You sound different, but we can still hear you. So
Well, it's either that or you don't hear me at all, so I'm
yeah,
not
no,
sure what to do.
you're good. Let's go with this and hope that it works.
Okay, otherwise I can, let's see. I'm attempting to improve the quality of the audio as much as possible.
So I'm going to go back to that one for now and see how that works.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's go back to planetary issues, right? and
Yes,
expect
planetary issues.
and solution always says one aspect of contractions bring expansion into solutions. So one of the solutions that's been created on the human collective is bringing the human collective as more as a cohesive, more connected collective. And for too long, it's been observed by many interstellar beings or advanced, beings of light that the human collective was still functioning almost like a fragmented one. And so bringing that collective into a cohesive and more united ways. So it helps also to bring the unity consciousness even as a planetary family. So we're moving from self identity to persona, ego, lower mind in
Mm-hmm.
terms of elevation through higher consciousness, higher discernment of the mental faculties, and bring more cohesive as more collective. And this is also implementing more the fifth dimensional reality, which invites us to return and functioning and being as a very united collective, and as many interstellar civilizations like the Andromedans, the Arcturians, a high level of the Syrians, who have learned, for example, just a handful of example, who have learned to build their civilizations around this cohesive, around this unifications and connections and consciousness. And that's one thing as a consequence of what we're moving into right now. And it's going to take 2020, it's going to take probably the rest of the year to really merge into that cohesive collective and going back into more a unity as a planetary family. But this
Mm-hmm.
is a very pivotal time, very strategic in terms of the ascension process. So we're moving into profound changes, even on our core values.
Mm-hmm.
Values are going to be changing. What seems to be so important hanging on to, or even, creating fragmentations among ourselves, won't matter as much anymore. So the shifting in terms of core values, um, healing limited beliefs, building new structure of higher light, structures of consciousness of light, and how roles with one another is
Mm-hmm.
also shifting the way we perceive ourselves. I'll give you an example. Something as simple as showing one another more patience,
Mm-hmm.
tolerance, compassion. Things like going back on the road eventually, highway is going to be congested again with rush hour traffic. We're rushing to the grocery store. But at the same time is how you get there. It matters because that create a trail of energy. And how you get there will changes the interactions you will have with everyone you come in contact with,
Right.
because ultimately we're becoming a lot more conscious of the fact that we are all teachers for one another.
Mm-hmm.
You teach everyone with whom you come in contact. You affect everyone. You influence. You bring something. There's an exchange. So what is it? What is the imprint? What is the exchange you wish to create? And
Yes.
and working and being blended and genetically be part of a collective of ascendant being like the Arcturians is that we can already perceive multiple timeline, what we call multiple result
Hmm.
of this contraction of this major purging for the human race as a family, as a planetary system, as also as individual, moving into a much more accelerated level of light. And light is about intelligence, is about defining how we thought, how we think, how we speak, how we connect, how we perceive ourselves.
Hmm.
So there's a multitude of subtleties of impact, but we don't see right now. Many of us have already have feeling, we have hunches, we have claircognizance about it. At the same time, that's going to move into a new structure of reality. And even at work, even the corporation, the 3D corporations, and all of it, it really affects them. And what it's been creating and generating right now won't be able to be undone or be returned or reset back to where it was.
Right.
We're going too far along. And
Yeah.
that is the good news behind all of this.
Hmm.
So, just to bring it back some, if you allow us just for a moment,
Sure, of course.
go back. Thank you. Going back to the aspect we talked about earlier in terms of looping and bringing together what has been creating, it's going to generate a lot more result, even though things seems getting worse right now. They're
Hmm.
very intense. They can be frightening. They can really, you know, overstimulate your primal chakras, your primal instinct, and the lower mind must be going crazy, like turning in circle like the hamster wheels. But at the same time, there's just so much more behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the contrast of how we live today is so different than how we were living, 6 weeks ago, that it's really giving people a lot of contrast to discern what they want in life and what they don't want in life. And so, as you said, when we go back to when we're not in quarantine anymore, it won't be exactly the same, but people will hopefully be really decisive and knowing what they want and what they don't want in their future timelines. And I feel like even though it feels like there's still a big split, like there's still a lot of device like separation and duality, I think that eventually it's also going to help us all come together and move into more unity consciousness. But it's like we have to go through this final battle or something. That's how it feels to me anyway. So
I appreciate that. I really do. And for many people, I'm sure they feel the same way.
yeah.
Um, for so long, we've been living in such polarized energies, of
Right.
fragmentation, and
Hmm.
also, be conflicted between what aspect ourselves seems to run our lives, seems to lead the way. And so, this is why we talk about looking and embracing those shadow self and to says, what does it represent for you as an individual expression of source in the human form, as a human being? What does it represent, all this purging that we all witnessing? And also, everyone will
Hmm.
perceive the events going on, the global events, from their own filters and their perception. Remember that there's thousands upon thousands of layers of realities, because reality is defined by your perception, your core values, your belief systems, and all the filters and the veil that we go through. What we are bringing here is to go behind all those, way behind those veils, and bringing forth that it gives you, me, and everyone, all of you, an opportunity to say, I no longer abides by those veils of illusions and those old paradigm, whether it's addictions, whether it's, you know, limiting belief system limitation, feel condensed, feel compressed. I don't belong on this planet. I wish I was elsewhere. And all of this to bring reconciliation
Mm-hmm.
within oneself. And as a result, and everyone going through the same process, is that we come to the point where setting aside differences based on three-dimensional program, historical data, you know, our societal archetypes that has been put in place for very, very distinct reasons. And one of the biggest one is to complete for fear to constantly push onto fear and
Mm-hmm.
emotional manipulation. Well, just simply recognize it. There's no need to give it any more of your energy, your power, your thought, your light. Just simply, I recognize that these type of influences are no longer have the same grip. I no longer have the same influence on me and around me. That's because you are shifting, and
Mm-hmm.
alongside your entire universe is shifting. Therefore, your universe is shifting my universe, and so forth. And this
Right.
is why that we can collectively put our differences aside. Talking about hopefully people would understand what's going on globally to every country, every city, every culture, everywhere on the planet. It's defining a very important markers in human history and on the earth history. So no one can continue moving forward in the exact same makeup as they used to be. We are profoundly shifting. So like any big event on the planet, this one is a global planet, a planetary issue. Somebody saying hello to me. Hi there. And so very happy to have you. Of course, I can feel your energy, so you draw my attention. So we're mark. This is a big historical marker on the planet. Something that is as historical as the shift of the ages, as the planet shifting, as the planet is repositioning herself on her axis and move on and so forth. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing with is shifting even the way your heart center connects to you, the way your torus field around your heart is also being stimulating and expanding. So all those changing, we're being encouraged more than ever
Mm-hmm.
to rediscover who we are and rediscovering our true abilities. So we talk about, oh, I wish to awaken and I want to have my Latin gifts come to the surface. I'm ready for them. And the universe says, great. I'm going to give you a golden opportunity for this. And it's called global changes. It's called a planetary event that every country will be all together in the same basket, if you want, called conscious awakening. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there, we're going to give you everyone on the planet individual time of gentle and intense integration at the same time. And so take this time of introspective to
Mm-hmm.
go deeper within yourself. And then those changes, what's going to happen is that we're also setting new priorities. We are our priorities and our goals are shifting. We're no longer being so bind by this 3D physical
Mm-hmm.
ego-based identification, which brings, relying more on your physical sensories and this kind of fulfillment that are very temporary, and it just turn and you need to get more and more and more. We're
Mm-hmm.
getting off of that lower form of interacting and relaying more in terms of I feel you, you feel me. It brings me an image that I'm sure most people have seen, the movie Avatar,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
magnificent one. And when they say is that they say, I see you, and I feel you. It's really in that sense we're moving into. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
to quote a very spiritual, beautiful movie, it's just to extract an essence of what we've been already been suggested, the unconscious stimulus for a long time to go.
Yeah.
yeah, guess what? You're returning to that point. And this is my human part talking. I would say it's about time.
Yeah.
It's really about time.
Yeah,
So I,
hopefully there will be a shift in people coming back together in the
it's
physical,
already
you
it's
know.
already happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no longer a wishful thinking. It's happening now. And even those who are so hang on to 3D, even at level, it feel like disappointing. It feel like almost deceitful, and it leave a bad taste in the mouth, even for those who've been relaying more on a 3D physical identification,
Hmm.
because even that aspect is no longer the same. We're
Would
not
you
in the same. I'm sorry.
situation? Would you agree that even the people who may not consider themselves as, spiritual beings, or, in the spiritual community, um, their consciousness is also getting an upgrade, and they're also going to kind of become more sensitive. So it's kind of happening by default a little bit to the entire planet as we go through this ascension. And I feel like when you take something away for a while and then you reintroduce that thing or something similar, you have that contrast. So now when we come back together in the physical, we've been in isolation, you're going to be more sensitive to energy because it's been taken away from you. Does that make sense?
It
So,
does, yes. It's
yes.
an aspect. It's a way to look into this. Yeah, I
Hmm.
understand where you're coming from with this.
Yes.
It's yeah, in translation too. It's allowing everyone to release from attachments to ego. Okay, somebody wants to say hello, so I'm gonna bring him. My big boy wants to say hello.
Wow, he's big.
Oh, it's Mama's boy.
He's
So the
so
animal kingdom wants to
fluffy.
bring in.
He's
Yeah.
so
So
fluffy.
this is Jimmy. He's
Oh,
melting everybody's heart right now. I
hi,
know.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's a mama's boy, and he represents the animal kingdom. He's an ambassador of love, and he's
Oh,
been pushing. He's gonna push my microphone, so I want to bring him. Okay, I know
he's
all
like,
life
I
form.
want to be seen. That's so
He
sweet.
represents all life form. Thank you, honey.
Oh, so Jeff Demers is with us, and he has a question for you. Would you like to take a question from Jeff?
Because it's chef, yes.
Jeff, you're the lucky one. He says, when do you think we all could connect with each other on a daily basis? And I'm guessing you mean telepathically, Jeff?
You're gonna know the Arcturian even more now, Jeff. Now that kind of question, they will simply say that you already are. So what does it connection means? It can means for you, because I can already see you and feel you. What you were going to say is that in a much deeper level, in a way that we can even exchange thought forms, being able to return to that deeper connection. This one isn't in the making. It's really much in the making. And there's no time attached to it. You have to look at already the leaping forward we're making right now. And
Mm-hmm.
these, I apologize. I'm proud of my cat litter, glitter. That connection that you're mentioning, Jeff, is that this is already in a state, it's already available to us now.
Mm-hmm.
On a much bigger, higher dimensional aspect, it will be as easy as taking the veil out and says, you choose to, it can be done right now, right in this moment. We collectively, even thousands of us on the planet, collectively would do this right now. We have the ability to restore our natural faculties of connecting with each other, to thought forms exchange, exchanging to the heart energy. You can feel my emotions. I
Mm-hmm.
understand exactly what you're being saying, and so forth. So it's available right now. We have to think that we're coming a long way. The human civilization is coming a very long way, which is why it is very important to return and accept that you are, as an identity, an essence of light, contracted or expressed as a sentient life form in a physical form, in a physical body. So, as an essence of light contracted in the physical body, this is exactly who we are. So,
Hmm.
on such level, our connection is endless and it never went away. It's already existing. Is we need to go back to even fully accepting that we are souls first and foremost. And then the physical identity comes. It is a mean of evolving, it's a mean of learning, it's a mean of expanding, you know, lessons, growth,
Hmm.
experiences that we could never have in such other ways. But we need to return and fully accept in all aspect of us that
Hmm.
I am first and foremost a soul having a physical experience or an essence of light in a contracted form.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
If you have any comments or follow up, let us know. Um, do you have any messages for the light workers on the planet right now? And some some may feel that there's kind of a big battle happening right now between the light and the dark. Um, so, do you have any advice for those who have really come here at this time to be in service to the earth and to humanity and to the light?
Yes, especially right now, we know that we have been exposed as people and also as a civilizations to the concept of battle,
Mm-hmm.
dark and light, good and bad,
Yes.
all this concept of the yin and the yang, the duality format that exists on this three-dimensional reality doesn't mean that it exists elsewhere. So, in terms of being a light worker, is first to reaffirm that you are a beacon of light, that you serve source, and you're very clear about your choices in that sense, that you are very centered and
Mm-hmm.
very understanding who you are. And one thing that we have been said over and over, because it's been still something that is essential to return to, is that do you really know who you are? Do you even remember the fullness of who you represent? And here, even though you are in a physical body, and it seems that the demands of the 3D sometimes seems to be speaking louder, but again, it's just a transcendence of how you perceive yourself and others. So returning to that form of being essence of light, and I have and an aspect of me is incarnated in that physical body, all of your faculties of telepathy, telekinesis, healing, instant healing of your body, um,
Mm-hmm.
healing your planet, living in resonance with the divine, and being also connected to your higher self, your supreme higher self, source, your star family, and all there is, it's available to you right at your fingertip.
Hmm.
So if you look at higher dimensional beings, whether it's their formless, whether they're higher consciousness, interstellar civilizations that we know, masters of light, they all perceive human being for who they really are. And what we perceive is so much more that people give themselves credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And that aspect has to be healed. That aspect needs to be transcended and
Mm-hmm.
also incorporated. Said moving forward, I live my life in the reflection of my soul, and my soul is the being behind who guides, who speaks, who teach, who heal, who live in resonance with a planet that is also a sentient life form, who is in resonance with other source of light. So when I see you and I meet you, I
Mm-hmm.
honor you because I'm in the presence of source, like you're in the presence of source with me, and so forth. And especially for the star seeds or those of coming from other planetary system, like the Pontiff, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Arcturians, the Pleiadians, Andromedans, the Lyrans, and even the Antares, and those who we may not even know by name, is that the more we are allowing ourselves to heal those spiritual stagnations or those stagnant layers that we have buried ourselves into and feel like all there is my little pinky where I have 10 fingers I can work with,
Mm-hmm.
then this is what we need to go back to. So, understanding yourself to a T will unlock amazing potential. You're gonna go like, oh my God, I had an entire basement of treasure and I've been hunting my whole life for a fraction of those treasures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literal. And one of the things you can do, one of the things the Arcturian keep speaking about is the experience and the importance of being balanced within yourself. Work
Mm.
with your chakra system. You can start with the primary seven. And we know that after the last project from Atlantis, when that project failed, and there was a lot of soul who needed to reincarnate either in other planets or came back on the recycle, the life, the incarnation wheel back on the earth, one of the major five chakra were shut down, and they held the higher chakras. And so working with your primary seven chakras just by a simple to visualize them. And what you do is that along the spine you visualize that you move supreme light of source, the golden light of source, through your spine with the intent to energize and infuse your chakras. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds very simple, but the power behind it allows you more and more to heal, expand your light body, maintain your connections, and
Mm-hmm.
also remove spiritual stagnations, those layers, those dormant faculties that we can bring into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I think this image of a basement full of treasure, it's such something that we can relate to is I'm going into my inner treasure chests
Mm-hmm.
within myself and allowing to say, I am ready now to take on the next level. Show me. Allow me to understand those aspects of myself. Just look at your DNA. And we're moving into more into an activation on your spiritual DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Also activating a 24th chromosome that we call the esoteric chromosome. It is the multidimensional chromosome. And so we're activating ourselves. And so our DNA is also, we call them the time machine, the DNA. Because as you awaken, your DNA and the esoteric and the spiritual aspect of your DNA is also activating, giving you much more ability to navigate through the inner map that you've forgotten, the inner map that
Mm-hmm.
leads you to your inner being and goes like, oh my God, I'm a princess, I'm a high priest, I'm a master healer. My soul has lived for thousands and thousands of years. And yet I thought I was this person with a little bit of abilities. I can do Reiki. I mean, I'm good with this. And you're just simply scratching the surface of who you are. We can turn the planet around on a dime.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
So basically, what you're saying is if we simply harmonize and balance all of our chakras, or at least the basic seven, presumably on a daily basis, you're opening up your access to your multidimensionality and therefore turning on some dormant gifts that we all have.
It's a start.
We call it gifts, but it's kind of funny because it's there, like you said, trapped in the basement, but we were never taught how to turn those on or to access them.
Allow us to remove one word that contract the energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not trap. It's simply undiscovered, forgotten. And when you
Right.
allowing you said, I'm going back to remember, to rediscover, it gives the space that it's already available to you now.
Right.
It's there. It's just simply to for you to realign yourself with it.
Mm-hmm.
And words, and I know they keep telling me that all the time,
I know
especially when we
words are so
are in
important.
work, the vibrational state of it. So this is why they go like they went and like, let's us extract that one and bring in that one. I said, okay, we'll do the extraction.
So important because so many people are going to watch this in the future. So it's really important to clarify those words because words have so much power.
Absolutely. And what we're
Yeah,
creating tonight, it's beyond the week of in April and what's going on.
right.
It's an echo to time. And even 6 months, 7 months from now, people will be able to reflect in terms of not understand the mapping, the shifting that they were invoking, explaining from a different perspective at the
Mm-hmm.
time, and how everything is coming together and how everything is implementing. It's almost like following a very beautiful design or structure of light. Then each place or each encoding, once you look back into the entire structure, you go like, I have to go through every part of the encoding to get to that space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. We're creating an encoding, we're creating an imprint that is lasting and echoing deeper, and it's going to reveal even messages between messages, almost like layers. And that's the magic of you and I, Sherry, coming together in a sacred space. The level of synergy, the complementary of us working, and then the team coming. And of course, you have your own team. We all have our team of light, and all
Our
this,
teams like each other.
like, they love each other. And then this, it's like a dance, like we're harmonizing our step, and we go like, oh, I can feel you, look at
Yes.
us.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm practicing my human side.
Awesome. Well, we've got some more beautiful women in the house. We have Stacy and Lisa and Lavinia and Olivia.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Thanks for representing, ladies. It's so good to have you here. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
thank
much
you.
for being here. Um, so I wanted to ask, and this is kind of like something that I feel is not really talked about in the mainstream. And so, to all those people who are going to be watching this video in the future who may be new to these kind of topics, can you talk about and explain timelines a little bit and what they are, how they're created, how we have power over our own timelines, and kind of like where we are on the timeline right now. That's like four questions in one, but I just wanted to talk about timelines a little bit because I don't feel like it's um, discussed much at all in the mainstream, and people don't feel like they're in control of their own reality.
That's a very good point. It can also bring a little bit of mental confusion between a timeline and having control or having being in sync with
Mm-hmm.
reality. And those are really good point that you are making, Sherry, because what we call timelines, you can visualize them as the multitude of your soul expression in different form, or what you, if you want to call them past lives or parallel universe or parallel timeline going on. So
Mm-hmm.
think of it as like a wheel has different ray onto it, and each ray can represent a timeline, but in the center of the wheel, everything is connected to you, meaning it's connecting to your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So from
Like the spokes on a wheel, on a
like the
bicycle
spokes,
wheel.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly that. So we can visualize that wheel for a moment, and it's a very 3D way to conceptualize time. But in the mind of interstellar advanced being like the Arcturians, is that they can perceive the wheel, if you want, all those spikes, what we call rays, or
Mm-hmm.
timeline, all at once, so they can perceive multiple one, and also the outcome. That if you take the spike number one compared to the second, to the third, to the fourth, and the fifth, for example, and you can see them all at five, all at one unfolding, because they exist already. We have to go through the 3D time construct for this. Nothing is linear in
Mm-hmm.
terms of past, present, and future. It's the unfolding of series of parallel universe or parallel life, if you want, existence. that unfolding, and you can stay in the center of the wheel, and like the bicycle wheel. And what you do, you observe, okay, so that's spike number one. I know that I'm going to experience XYZ, and then the result will be an accelerated growth. However, spike number two allow me to condense. It's going to be a lot more challenging, but at the same time, I can accelerate all the learning and resolve different karma. So I'm going to choose number two. And then you can see the multitude unfolding because they already exist. If you accept for a moment that your consciousness is by nature holographic and multidimensional,
Mm-hmm.
that means that that essence, that part of you expressing as you now, but there's also different essence of you or expression of you who also exist in those spikes or other timelines. Now, coming back into affecting your reality, you affect your reality just to by being here, by existing, by thinking. Your thought
Mm-hmm.
affect your reality. Mm.
Right.
If you have patterns and trauma that is deep into the unconscious, you affecting your reality. Reality has different facets, has a multifaceted as a diamond. So the way how we can be more in alignment with your reality is accepting that I am a soul in a sense of light in a human form, and my soul has chosen a soul team, or maybe two or three soul teams in this
Mm-hmm.
life, and I allow this fire to ignite this passion, ignite this connections with my soul, and therefore without having giving the ego or the lower mind too much power. And so I'm going to put the ego on the sittings on the passenger side, and I'm going to take my soul, I'm going to take my higher self, be the driver. And then at that point, what you know is that naturally you're realigning yourself with your own timeline in this lifetime. You can feel it. And how can you notice that? You pay attention how many synchronicity come, things start to come to you much more effortlessly. Mm?
Mm-hmm.
You're at the right place at the right time, people popping in your life, opportunities, things start to resolve, start to unblock, start to feel more flowing. You are in the flow, you can feel it, you know it. You don't always know how you know it, but it's a gut feeling. You are
Mm-hmm.
very much in sync with something bigger. And guys, congratulations. Now you're back into your own flow. This is what we call, in our ways, to call being in alignment with your timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different subtleties of understanding onto, what we call the timelines are referred to is also referring to your other expressions. Focus on this life, focus on, you can call upon the wisdom, extracting keys for what you learn to integrate in this timeline, in your lifetime. This one right now is the most important one, because that is this lifetime here that you've come to assist to help an entire civilizations to reclaim their sovereignty, to go back to their celestial origins, to allow a sentient life form called a planet to catch up the rest of her
Mm-hmm.
sisters and brothers in this quadrant to reascend, and your success create waves that have ripple effect on other systems, on other civilizations,
Mm-hmm.
other own worlds, and so forth. So narrow it down and bring yourself in alignment here with understanding that 3D time construct, linear time, it's very limiting in our opinion, very constructive, and it's an illusion that we are abiding by agreement. We collectively constructed that linear time.
Mm-hmm.
No other beings live in linear time. They said, what is that concept? You feel like you're putting yourself in a box and there's a timer on it and it's past, present, future, and that's it. I'm like, oh my God, what a concept.
So, can you speak a little bit on like what you focus on grows in terms of your own reality and your own timeline? Why is it important to focus on positivity versus negativity, especially right now? especially as we're going through a timeline split, and especially as we're being bombarded with negative information right now. I feel that way, at least.
I understand your feeling.
Yeah.
Many people feel this way. We observe the same phenomena. That's because you are in the midst of dismantling such an important illusionary paradigm that has been fed and constructed upon the fear factor and emotional manipulation. So allowing yourself to go back to first a state of neutrality. When you are in a state of neutrality, you allow yourself to center and ground your energy. Catch a breath, give yourself a reprieve, and also refraining from sinking deeper into that dense, helpless, fearful anxiety energy. So bring you back to neutrality. Now, when you bring your car to neutral, then you can reassess to where you want to go, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
reassess in terms, what's my plan? What is it I'm attempting to achieve? What is my destination? So reset yourself, exactly like that. Bang. You reset yourself
Did
in
I bang?
neutrality. I like that.
Sorry.
No, it's good. That was
I'm
so
trying not to touch
synchronous.
anything.
That was perfect. That was perfect. You just illustrate a point. Bingo, you're neutral. You reset it yourself. And like the breath go, and your body just reset itself.
Mm.
Now you can bring more oxygen, you're ready. So by doing this, having more positive oriented thought, energy, what it does, it creates the same equivalent on terms of outcome. Okay. And one other thing also is that unspoken anxiety, fear, frustrations, especially fear-based energy, all these really saturated thoughts, like it's like a condensed ball. All those thoughts that are saturated with this fear and anxiety are unspoken, however, sent out into the universe. What it creates massive waves of density energy. So think of it as creating additional fog around your head,
Mm-hmm.
around your life, around your home, in your city, around your family, everyone, around each country, and around the globe. So this is a good image. Why is it so important to come first, neutralize yourself so you're not in a polarized energy? Neutralize your energy, go back to center ground. Huh? Park your car, reassess.
That's a
And
great
then
analogy.
good analogy. Okay,
Yeah.
good, good, good. And we need that. I'm like, okay, I'm driving like crazy right now. I'm turning in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Ground. I'm parking, I'm neutralizing. And then refining the quality of your thoughts to says from fear, I'm going to trade that to trust. Giving back to the point that I accept explicitly that I am first and foremost a soul contracted in a physical body for a
Mm-hmm.
very good reason. There's no punishment here. For a very good reason on this planet, then at that level, at the soul level, there is no fear, there is no anxiety, there's no lack of scarcity. It is fabricated to that very engineering, very clever paradigm that we have gone used to for generations. So going back to your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
all these unspoken thoughts and belief and energy that we generate like light bulb constantly, instead of creating more fog around our cities and around ourselves and so forth, and says, hey, I can see you. No, of course, there's 10 generations of fog between you and me. And then we say, I wonder why we cannot connect to each other. Well, we're still connecting, but it has
Mm-hmm.
to go through that energy. So your higher self will catch it. So imagining dissipating that fog, healing, clearing, those massive wave of density energy that we constantly send out. It has come to the point that those wave, how can I say that? Those waves are non-conclusive with the earth ascension. They're non-conclusive with the earth health, with your own health,
Mm-hmm.
as well as your body matrix, your soul matrix, and it's non-conclusive with that celestial evolution that the earth is undertaking. What we
Mm-hmm.
do is we're piling up more dense energy on top. And I'm like, well, I'm only one person. What difference do I make? Everything. Because every layer from everyone on the planet, from the old unspoken energy field in the form of thoughts, are not only perceived, even though you don't see them physically, they're perceived, they're piling up, they're also condensing the energy of the
Mm-hmm.
earth and our interstellar brothers and sisters perceive those waves because it's like wave, they continue to expand. They don't stay there, they don't stay in your house, they don't stay in your town, they expand to the point that they have to go and clear those pocket of energy, those wave of density. So your thoughts are extremely important, especially the non-spoken and the non-verbal, the unspoken one,
Mm-hmm.
because your energy says, well, oh, they're funny. We're going to make it very, very, very easy, very down to the granular, elementary way. Do you want to create gray sky and rainy clouds, or you want blue
Cloudy,
sky
cloudy day or sunny day.
or sunny blue sky?
Yeah.
That's it. Really, I would say, well, that's really down to earth, and it just brought me down to earth. It
It's
says,
really simple.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
really that's way. It's a very, very simplified answer to why it is so important, so capital, and more than ever right now. We have
Mm-hmm.
enough fog, we have enough rainy clouds, and all of this,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Enough is enough.
Those are two good analogies, the car and the clear blue sunny skies.
Well, I drink to that.
I'll drink to that. um, you guys, if you guys have any questions, please put them in all caps. I see some comments. Lavinia says, we all need to shed the old tapes and programs, always going within and finding our inner divine. Yes, absolutely. We always need to go within and find our
Hmm.
inner divine.
Yes, yes.
Um, it's so interesting because just talking with you, it like pulls me kind of into a neutrality, like a neutral energy space. And I want to just go into meditation. It's really hard to stay present
Yes.
right now, even through the computer screen, guys.
And tonight I'm feeling very much my 50% human side, so we're very mellow yellow with everyone right now. So
Yeah.
imagine.
I'm sure everyone can feel it who's watching.
Of course.
Oh my goodness. So let's see. Thank you for talking about that. That was really big and really an important topic. Um, I think it's very timely, but also just always good to brush on that.
Indeed.
Um, so, is there anything that you would like to talk about or the collective would like to share that maybe hasn't come to me? Are there any messages that are really, bursting or hoping to come through?
I like that. Thank you. You're just beautifully opening the floors.
Yes.
Team, please be gentle today.
Uh
Thank you.
oh.
No, they know. They know. We're giving such a gift of time right now in terms of releasing what's called ego-centered debris. And those releasing ego-centered debris is allowing us to go in terms of not only accepting who we are and accepting that I am soul in action, but at the same time to feel that you be able to see your incarnation, this life that is given to you as an amazing gift and an amazing opportunity. And I can tell you from a child of different, very two very distinct worlds, being a hybrid, life on this planet is difficult. At
Mm-hmm.
the same time, the depth of what we can accomplish, you have the opportunity, all of us collectively and individually, to take leap forwards and ascend thousands of years all at once. This life that is given to us is very condensed. If you look at the younger generation, the children's, which called, the indigo, the blue crystal, or whatever labels we want to give them,
Mm-hmm.
those who've come with already their DNA activated, those who've come with, that have no veil of forgetfulness that we put onto ourselves as the soul incarnate and take contact in body, the physical body, they come with a very clear direction, agenda, intentions. They
Mm-hmm.
come with their full, I call them to bring a full team already attached to them. It says, here's my team, here's the knowledge, here's the answer. What else do you want to know? And so behind it, what's happening is that we are witnessing the the birth, if you want, of a new structure, whether it's to education, exchange, resources, social wise, spiritually in the community. I mean, I have the joy, and I've said that before, but more than ever, I really have the joy of working with people from different country, different background, whether it's from Spain, whether it's Australia, Africa, Canada, and you can tell that I can extract a very, very common light, a very common desire, a very common heart center coming together. And it's spoken in different accent, it's spoken in different dialect, it's spoken in different perspective. Collectively it click. I can almost create a core of crystalline energy with this. And I see that coming together more and more, listening, doing very active, what's called active listening.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really actively listen to someone, you can really read what not only their mind, what their heart and their being within them is saying. And also, another thing phenomenal I'm seeing is that your inner being is coming to the surface more. I can see when someone is a star seed, I can see their inner ET being. I can see if someone is from an angelic realm, if someone is coming from a place where they are new to experiencing physical body. Those are very earthbound and attached to the earth because they've been around for a long time. I would say thank you, guardians of earth. We need you. Those are attached to elementals or the invisible kingdom. Those are fairies. Oh my god, you can see them in their essence,
Mm-hmm.
the way they pixel and talk and they move around. And so it's just amazing. It's witnessing almost like being within the Federation, the Galactic Federation,
Right.
one of the meeting and listening. But when you listen to all their expression is the commonality, the pointer. Everyone is coming more, and I can see it's also expanding not only everyone's core light, but also the crystalline core of the planet, and
Mm-hmm.
how everything is really forming to diversity and beauty in a very cohesive collective, and that tapestry formed the most exquisite pattern, even more exquisite than crop circles and and dimensional figure. It's just really coming together in such an amazing configuration. And that personally and also as a collective,
Mm-hmm.
that gave us the motivation, the spark to continue to soldier through, even though right now we are being challenged in all aspect of our being. It's actually we're being pushed to really go, did you hear now, do you understand the message? Get to decode yourself, and then you'll come back and you're going to go, thank you for waking me. Thank you for snapping me out of this
Mm-hmm.
sleeping program automation mode that we have fallen into, and for so how many thousands of years it's
Mm-hmm.
been. So we're getting off the incarnation wheel and this karmic wheel that have been we got trapped onto and moving and circling around and around, saying it's okay, I'll get it right in the next life. And like, if you want to go spinning, go right ahead. I am done with that incarnation wheel. I'm returning to my celestial origin and reclaiming that fullness. I don't know about you, but I'm calling through my soul patterns. I'm calling through, through the soul patterns that are stored within your divine template, and I'm going full blown into activating that template
Mm-hmm.
and living the life that I came here by design and by purpose for myself and for all of you, for everyone, every aspect of life involving on this planet. That's the choice that we make, slash, I make.
Yeah. And some people choose to come to Earth, or maybe they're meant to be here, right? Like this is their home planet and they keep coming back here, whereas other beings or star seeds come from other planets originally,
Correct.
right?
Yes, that is correct. There will be
Okay.
what's called emanation of you. So some emanations are very much hurt bound, and I have come in contact with those people. For example,
Mm-hmm.
those are very comfortable in their body. They're very grounded. They like to have physical touch. They're very in sync with their
Mm-hmm.
physical sensory. They feel right at home. You can tell that they're very in sync with the earth plane. To them, most of them, of course, they awaken like anybody else, but most of them will have a sense where why questioning all the structure when it's been working this way for so long. Who am I to question all of this? It's been put in place for a reason. I'm like, think again. You can tell that they're very, they reminds me of the loving gnomes that I have encountered in my life. You can tell they're very comfortable within the earth plane. They
Mm-hmm.
move out of frequency and they move out of, to vibrational states. So they seem invisible and they come back again. However, they're very at home within the energy field of the earth. So this is what I lovingly call the earth gnomes. And they're very part of their soul has
Gaia.
been very at home in with Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
There are others, they're begging me, please, please show me a way to go back source. I don't want to be here. I don't belong. And I want to thank you, Sherry, for saying what you said about belonging, because we all belong here. You are meant to be on this planet right here, right now, regardless of what your
Mm-hmm.
soul remembers you as. You're meant to be here. You may not be of this world, but you are in this world right now, making a huge difference. And again, remember that you're here by design and
Mm-hmm.
great purpose. So that's another layer to it. But there's also souls who, and I know myself, then it's like being on a long exploration. I've been away from home for a long time and I'm exploring other worlds, including this earth, when in my essence, in my being, I know that I'm longing eventually to come back to my point of origin from an emanation point of view. And eventually, what I'll do after my earth mission is completed, and I will stay here as long as it needs, mind you, because this is very important. I know that I'm going straight back to Arcturus star system. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Father, I'm ready. We're going back to our star system where I want to go back and be with our people and evolve and continue. And from there, I'll be able to choose at the soul level which sphere of existence I want to take on. I may go back being formless if I want to, but I know at the soul level, I'm going back to the Arcturus star system. And so I'm saying this because it will speak to the star seed. Star seed representative ambassador, like our friend Jeff on the phone on the line right now with the Ponti. We know that we are here as explorers, as visitors, as ambassador, a missionary. At the same time, we know that there's something inside of us that says, I'm going back with my people afterwards. And then from there, you will see where source takes you. But it's beautiful to embrace who you are, embrace who you feel, even though the stars have been calling you your entire life. Just know the stars
Mm-hmm.
are always there for you and will be there for you. So let's focus on the task at hand. Enjoy your life here. Enjoy what Gaia and all life and all the diversity and the richness of experiences you may have here that nowhere else would you have an opportunity to evolve, to
Mm-hmm.
experience, to connect the way we can here. It's very unique. I'm telling you, very unique
Right.
place.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it feels like a long time when you're here, but in the big picture, it's really a short blip of time.
Like this.
It goes by really fast. Absolutely. So, speaking of going by really fast, we're coming on the last half hour. Um,
Wow,
I
already?
already. How are you doing? Would you like to take a quick 3 minute or 5 minute break?
That would be
Yeah.
great. I'll
Yeah.
recenter and then take I'll breathe and then I'll let the team comes and they anchor themselves. They're always there. I'm a blended um, hybrid. I'm a blended channel. It's 24/7. But the
Mm-hmm.
team, it's like I'm just going to pop up the volume and then says, "Okay, team, my heart center is more in alignment now. You can
Yeah.
come back a little bit stronger."
Okay, awesome. So, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 3 minute break. So, if you have any questions for Viviane, please put them in the chat in all caps. She's here, she's available, she's excited to answer your questions, and don't be shy. So, we're just going to take a quick 3 minute break and we'll be right back. I'm going to just black out, but I'll be right back.
See you
Okay.
soon.
Okay. All right, all right. How's everyone doing? Do you guys, if there's anyone new in the chat room, new to Viviane, and you have a basic question about what it means to be a blended hybrid, don't be shy to ask because maybe you haven't seen our last video and maybe that's on the top of your mind. How's everyone doing? How are you guys holding up with shelter in place? I think we're going on week 5 here. What week are you on? I would love to know. And thank goodness the bandwidth problems went away. Thank you so much for hanging out. As we took a little break, we're all gonna fly through this last half hour with Viviane. It's 6:30 now, so, and we're back. Hello.
Yes, we are.
Thank you for coming back. I was just thanking everyone for hanging out with us while we take a little 3-minute break.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this last half hour is gonna fly by. I was asking people if they wanted to know any basic questions about you as a blended hybrid, because I thought that was a really interesting point that you brought up, you know, for the people who might be new and haven't had a chance to watch our other interview. Would you like to talk about that for just a minute? Like, you know, what is a blended hybrid, and how is it that you came to be the unique, beautiful being that you are?
Thank you, Sherry. And yes, I remember our first interview. That was a really beautiful introduction and bringing those concept understanding. Because the word hybrid is being used in many ways, and there's many variations of hybrids. Whether
Mm-hmm.
we all carry DNA that comes from our stellar influence and stellar origins. At the same time, there's different level. In my case, what it means to be a blended hybrid, it's because physically and genetically, I was designed directly from the genome of my Arcturian father, blended with an aspect of my human mother, and also how they put together the blend of and all this genetic material together to build a very specific level of hybrid that I chose to embody for this life mission, for this earthly mission,
Mm-hmm.
allowing me to get a very strong connections with humanity and also the challenges it takes to be, and on the day to day, to be a human being, and also anchoring myself with the energy field of Gaia at the same time as retaining so much high level of genetic material from the Arcturians, and then put together, um, allows me, for one thing, to physically sustain really high level of frequency without burning my nervous systems, without over stimulating my adrenal glands or
Mm-hmm.
my lymphatic system. It really physically designed, literally physically designed to sustain that high frequency. And I can be in conscious blended channel with my collective 24/7 without having to regenerate or physically create any issue. And I've seen that with other channels, very powerful, very gifted channels, but the physical part of their body, the human part of their body, is not designed to be in a constant state of bringing forth such level of frequency. And so it's just to illustrate one aspect. Oh, hello. Sorry, one of our collectives just decided to pop right behind the monitor, and so I saw that face coming through. Okay, so they
Well, it's funny because I saw something go by about a minute ago, and I didn't know if it was like a cat hair or a being. Did you see
no,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, and it caught my attention.
Oh, but there was like an etheric cord, or like it looked like a string, or cat hair flying through the air. It was on your right shoulder, and it came towards the camera.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not. No, no,
You didn't
there's
see
no
it?
cat hair there.
No. Yeah, it
No.
came from you, and it came towards the camera on your right. So,
Oh, Okay.
It
Yeah,
was kind of interesting.
yeah, it's them because I saw a face popping behind, like right behind the light. And so thank you
Was
for
it
the distraction, guys.
was it someone, was it a being who has not been with us thus far tonight?
No, they're always there.
Okay.
Think of it as it's an ongoing presence. There's no turn on and off. I can just, depending on what I'm going through, there'll be some fluctuations, but
Well, I
it's
thought it
just,
might be like a different being from the collective, like a
yeah,
different uh
it's from the collective, all right. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's from different from your perspective, but from the collective, yes. So yes and yes.
so so technical.
If you ask the Arcturian, they're gonna tell you the way they see it.
um so you were talking about the ability to hold the frequency of the Arcturians and the collective, in a human body. And I can't remember, did you say whether or not your DNA was modified in utero? Was the Arcturian genome implanted in utero? Did it happen before? Like, when did it happen in the
Mm.
process?
That's a terrain that I'm very careful to walk on. I'm not very comfortable to speak on their reproductive ways of blending genetic material. All I can
Okay.
tell you is that they do have the consciousness, the, the technology, and also the consciousness assisted technology to do that. So if
Mm-hmm.
you think about what is an hybrid, huh? It's a blend of usually a human mother and a extraterrestrial or interstellar father, or vice versa. In our case, we just pushed the envelope way more, and we developed another dimension of hybrid than I embodying right now. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's different ways that they do that, but it will be opening a can of worm of,
Yeah, topics.
yeah, yeah.
It's okay.
And I want to respect my also my human parents to
Yes,
them.
that's okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So can you share a little bit about your healing work that you do, that you offer
Oh,
for people? We haven't really
yes.
spoken about that before, and I would love for you to share, whatever you'd like to share about it, the type of work you do, or what kind of issues people can ask you for help with, kind of what your specialty is or what makes you unique from others, besides the obvious one.
Believe me, I've been an embodiment of this my entire life. So thank you for stating the obvious. You're wonderful, Sherry. Oh, thank you. It's one thing we keep forgetting talking, our talking about, our modality is what we offer to really help people, whether it's on one-to-one sessions or even as a collective, as a group, and we do that also. What we
Hmm.
do, one of the things we do the most is called our Arcturian holographic soul healing with light language encoding. So it's a modality that was created, if you want, directly by my Arcturian collective, directly from our awareness. And what we do is that I'm constantly in that blended channel. So when someone comes, they want to heal a past trauma, they feel that they're being blocked, they feel they're ready to take on a very significant evolutionary step forward, whether they
Hmm.
want to reinforce their connections with their star family, with their selves, their multiple aspects of your higher selves, improving their lives, shedding a very old paradigm, like shedding the past to be able to embrace the fullness of their potential, awakening, stimulating, if you are igniting their gifts and so forth. So there's different way we approach that. So when the person comes, we have a very active listening part when the person speak and express to us what they're coming to us for. And then the team analyze. What it does is like it opens windows through my
Hmm.
third eye, and they talk to me at the same time. So the person share, it's analyzed, and they can show us either different timelines. They will show us different point of connection in the body. if I see a cord, sometimes I would see someone talking to me and I see a huge cord going through right in the middle of their stomach area, pulling from the lumbar and the
Mm-hmm.
back, and then moving to either someone, a situation, or either different, a past incarnation. And I would say, well, you must have weird. Let me rephrase. We are detecting potential stomach issue that has your solar plexus and your core light completely out of balance,
Hmm.
and then it create a hole. It feel like leakage of energy to your light body, and it feel like on the physical level it must be triggering very important digestive issues, illumination issues, self-expression, and all the ripple effect. And they go like, yes, I've always felt like there's a hole in my body, to feel like there's a hole somewhere and I can never be at the level I need to be. I'm like, well, we need first and foremost to remove that cord because I can energetically see it with even my physical eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an aspect of this. And we work with people from all different levels. So we balance and recalibrate your body matrix, and we work with your soul matrix. And the soul matrix, this is where we work with your supreme higher self. This is where we work sometimes with gardens of times if we have to open an aspect of your Akashic record to help understand what
Mm-hmm.
is happening, what are the loops or the patterns happening in this lifetime, helping you to balance your timeline with your soul journey here. Soul fragments, or the soul fractals that we need to heal and bring into calibration, bring into oneness, recenter your being with your expression here. We work with the subconscious, the unconscious level in terms of deep ingrained patterns that
Hmm.
create those sabotaging loops and send out. So we bring helping you to bring another level of energetic template in the holographic way that anchor itself and rebalance, so you can be like, whoa, now I can feel I'm myself more than ever, but
Mm-hmm.
as also setting the person free from those patterns, and then it moves you forward. It really creates powerful paradigm shifts in someone's life. It can be enough just trigger a spark, and that person is off on his or her way or their way and
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. So it's just an aspect. When we work with someone is we connect with your being, we'll listen to what you're saying, we decode, and we're like, okay, here's what comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
We've been assisting even women getting pregnant. I have one of my clients, she's been attempting to get pregnant for
Wow.
over 3 years. We work with us 2 times. We just realign our uterus, we realign the spine, we clear any, there was a huge cord going to the uterus that belongs to other timelines. And now she's expecting twins. She's pregnant with twins.
Oh my goodness. That's
you
amazing.
know that's amazing. The result will that really varies. The results are really depending on the person
Yeah.
co-manifesting willingness, participation. We're facilitators. We're going to create the space and the opportunity, and now you're taking over, and then we can guide you
Mm-hmm.
and support you, of course, and give you tools. But the results, it's just all over. It's just phenomenal.
Do you sometimes know what the person's going to come to you with before they share, or does it always come in through their words?
It's not just the words, it's the demeanor, it's even the way they write. It's just sometimes the way someone send me an email, I can
Mm-hmm.
already read. I'm like, okay, I can already see what kind of frequency or energy intentions I'm going to be facing. And then allowing the person for self-expression to the wording, it's also allowing their being to speak to us. There's
Mm-hmm.
an all non-verbal and energetic exchange going on. So this is just a mean of communication where there's so much more going on in the background.
Right.
It's wonderful to connect, to really connect to someone
Mm-hmm.
and listen and says, okay, so after time we have seen example where the plant of seed or the new energetic template will be activated. It can be a year from now. I've seen an example when someone came back a year or two later and goes, okay, remember the work we've done? I'm like, well, I will remember only if it's allowed because it's for you. So for me, it's released.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's the memory reactivating, I'm like, oh, I remember where you were in point A, now you are in double Z. And it took that person a year to do it. Other people, 2 sessions, it's done. Others, I can work with them on a base to base or once a month, depending on how allowing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
how much they're receptive. Are they really ready, even though you say so? But your being says, I will be ready later. Just start the process and I'll catch and it will integrate maybe
Right.
6 months down the road.
It's all divine timing.
Exactly as it is permitted and
Meant to be.
appropriate,
Mm-hmm.
exactly as it is appropriate for the person serving always the highest and best in every aspect. So it's
Right.
just wonderful.
You know what's so interesting about our conversation tonight? Like, I've been hearing all this talk about how people are experiencing Zoom burnout because now most of our interactions that used to be in person are on this, technological interface called Zoom or whatever people are using. And, my kids are experiencing it too because a lot of their classes have moved to
Mm,
virtual. Um,
that's
but
right.
what's so fascinating with you and oh, so what I wanted to say was I guess they're talking about the resonance that we feel when we're in person with somebody, right? So there's the body language you read, there's the nonverbal communication, there's the energetic exchange that's happening that's also like cluing you into what's going on with that other person or what they're really saying or what their intentions are. um, and so most people can't experience those things through Zoom because it's like, right? But what's so fascinating with you tonight, I feel like we're in the same room.
Yes.
I feel like I can feel your energy so strongly. And I don't know, it's really fascinating because, like, I've been reading about this resonance thing all week with Zoom and how people are experiencing Zoom burnout, but with you I just feel like we're right in sync together. It's very strange to me, and I don't know if that's because your energy is so strong or because we already have a heart connection, so it's already formed, and with the sound of your voice coming in, it's just like nothing changed. It's really remarkable.
That's absolutely exquisite. Thank you for saying. And really, this is very important. You are absolutely right on. Yes, our heart connection, which is already established, it's a huge factor. We
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to connect to one another and transcend any format, whether it's a technology, whether it's a flat screen, whether it's a tablet, as opposed to together in terms of physical proximity. It is the resonance field that you're referring to is still existing to our exchange. What we do is that we project, we do a projection of our essence, our consciousness through the means that we're using, whether it's to Zoom or a computer. The connection for us is the same. We can feel you the same. We can also
Mm-hmm.
connect with you the same. It really is amplified. And you're right, to the resonance even in the wording, because I'm a conscious blended communicator channel, call it the way you want it, with my Arcturian essence and
Mm-hmm.
also the team and that this aspect of the Arcturian awareness that I represent, it also conveyed their presence. And the wording has such an energy field to it that it echoes and speak to you at multiple way instead of just being a verbal, powerful verbal communication, mind you, but it transcends that. And
Yeah.
I must say, because I know that my beloved Peter, my fiance Peter, is watching right now, I have one of his latest creation next to me,
Oh,
which is,
cool.
yeah, it is a generator, and I put it this way because it has right in the middle an amethyst that you put in the center, and this one is made of overlapping multiple tensor ring together, including the galactic one and the unity one. Galactic is my favorite. And
Mm-hmm.
that generator here in the form of a donut, and it generates the energy, conveys it. You just pull it on you anywhere you need to be, even in proximity, and it creates such an energy field. It clears the entire room, and
Wow.
through the crystal, you can
Mm-hmm.
interchange and create the intention that you need. I mean, it balances your energy and remove blocks like there's no tomorrow. It's like it's there. It is so potent that we
Wow.
even have one or hanging over our bed. So Peter said, "Do you want one of my tools?" I said, "I want your ultimate generator because
Oh.
that torus field that it creates. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
It's so beautiful. You
Thank
know,
you. Yeah.
I have a friend who programs crystals for metal detoxing,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been wearing one for Mercury, and I got to the point where I was complete, and so I thought, okay, next I'm going to do aluminum. Amethyst is for aluminum. In her
Ah.
work, she uses the amethyst to detox too much aluminum in the body. So that's pretty amazing. I'm now curious. I wonder if that amethyst would work on that, or if the crystal needs to be programmed to do so.
Well, crystal has natural property. Think of
Yeah.
it as crystal carry all the memories, they are
Mm-hmm.
decoders. You can read them like a Akashic record. They're like library of information. So, in a sense, you say detoxifying the energy, whether it's
Yeah.
through metal, toxin, energy field, pattern infiltration, and all those satellite of influences that we are subject to. Something like this, the generator, or to the crystal you talked about programming, you can program with very clear intention that this amethyst become to detoxify body, energy field, space, everything around, even the molecule, through any form of
Right.
intrusion, energy blockage, including the toxin from metal. And when you put it in the middle, right away it amplified through the torus field that
Mm-hmm.
this generator creates. So it's a really good point you're making, Sherry, by sharing this work, that any form of crystal you can program, which is why the centerpiece we interchange, whether we want a grounding, with a red jasper, or we want to create more,
Mm-hmm.
abundance, healing, expansion, even to the heart, we can put in a green adventurine selenite. We know it's so powerful to clear.
You're
So
you're naming all the crystals in my oils.
see how in sync we are.
We are.
As you do beautiful work too, and your oil are wonderful,
Oh,
and I
thank you.
love your bracelet. I'm proud to wear
Oh,
my
thank you.
Larimar.
We're
Proud, proud. There
twin
you go.
Larimars.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very proud to wear my Larimar and my blue kyanite as well.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank
most
you.
welcome.
Wow. Well, that was quite a segue. Yeah, Peter's work is amazing. When we met in San Francisco, I was blessed enough to receive this from Peter and Viviane. It was a gift, and it's a Metatron's. Uh, I don't know what he calls it. Does he call it a disc
It's a
or
pendant.
pendant?
Hmm.
Yeah, and it has four different stones inside, and it's wrapped in copper. And anytime I'm feeling like I need to go into that neutral space more quickly, or I just need some centering and regrounding, it really like brings you there much faster. Because I
That's
remember at the conference, I got like a little
yes.
bit frazzled from all the energy of all the people there. And then this just like helped me ground right away. It was amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful. The Metatron is one of the very strong one he creates, and I believe there are five stones combined, but also it's a different ring. It's a pattern that literally was given to him by Archangel Metatron into
Wow.
during a channel.
Mm-hmm.
It creates in the form of pendant, but also in the form of anklet that you can put around your ankle, and it really amplify and expand your own energy field and
Mm-hmm.
connect you also with the Archangel Metatron and sacred geometry, and the amplify by the crystals and the ring itself. I know that Peter would explain it better than I do, but the effects are amazing. And what you just described in a conference, when I remember you were bombarded by very chaotic different form of influences around you that were designed to, they had good intention, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time it was very disruptive in your energy field to the point that you feel like you temporarily, of course, disconnect from,
Yeah.
you know, yourself, your core, and going, I don't know what to do, and it brings you back into a much higher centeredness. So I'm very happy that it serves you very well, Sherry.
Yeah, it does. I'm so
Absolutely.
grateful to you guys for that.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
very, very welcome, of course.
Yeah. Well, this has been an amazing chat. Here we are approaching our 2 hour window.
I know.
If you guys have any last minute questions, please ask now. Um, is that a question I missed? Oh, no, I got that one. Okay. So, can you possibly share on what you want people to focus on over the next few days? Is there anything we need to that's time sensitive or urgent that the collective can do in the next couple of days to help shift this planet into the positive direction, into the, the more ascended timelines, if you will, and people can really connect to their core essence and, move closer into that unity consciousness?
Absolutely. So let's recap. I would say three main points because
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying is very important. Three main points. First, I fully accept that I am a soul in an essence of light, contracted or expressed as a sentient life form in a physical body. I am a soul first and foremost. So it allows everyone to see who's driving your car every day, who
Mm-hmm.
is in control, so to speak, who's influencing your thoughts, words, feeling, actions, defining your core values, your priorities, your perception, your connection with this reality. So that's number one. Number two, when you feel that you're being sucked in paradigm of fear, anxiety, lower frequency, bring
Mm-hmm.
yourself to a neutral point. Now we talk about park your car, stay there, reassess. Going back to neutrality allows you to stay more in alignment with higher connections, whether feeling you're getting running loose, disconnected, fear, and then running deeper into density. So go back to neutrality, take a deep breath, reassess. What am I attempting to create? Why is it that I wish to manifest? What is the desired outcome of what I'm doing right now? And that brings you into neutrality. And after that, redirect daily, day by day, redirect your thought forms, your thoughts to more positive outcome, creating sunny blue sky or rainy dark cloud or fogginess that contribute to bring everybody into that sense of automation and being sleepy and being, programmed by others. So allow yourself to be conscious that your thoughts, anything unspoken, your energy, what you bring out there in the form of a thought, has a wave, a pattern of wave energy that affect the overall humanity connected collective consciousness, as well as also affect the earth matrix and also the progress and the ascension process. So your thoughts are very important. What type of wave energy are you sending out on a daily basis into the atmosphere, if you want, into the collective and beyond the earth? Number two. Number three, what can you do? Very easy technique. Sit, neutral, go back to neutrality, deep breath into your being, few breath, and with each breath, allow your breath to become more conscious, meaning to breathe deeper, slowly. Feel it's going deep into your abdomen. Connect and invite your body to breathe with you. And when you're in that sense, simply visualize that you're moving golden divine light, the purest light, through the spine with the intent to energize, infuse, and balance your entire chakra system. And through the chakra system, it balances all the organs and the function of your earthly body. It also balances out your subtle bodies, expand and reinforces, strengthening your light body in a more cohesive way. And then when you do that, by the time you reach, you can start by your root, moving up to your crown, and from your crown, create a loop, bring it back to your down to your spine, down to your root, and you feel that you're balanced from the front and the back of your chakras. Okay, and you feel it in your energy. You may take 10 minutes, 5 minutes. If you can do it more longer, 15, 20, more power. But you can do it multiple times throughout the day. It creates a very healthy balance regiment, positive habit. And then from there, go about your day, go back again and observe, be an observer, an active observer to see and notice exactly what is shifting. And you will see that you will be surprised, happily surprised, joyfully surprised, how much you can really have the power to shift in your reality from day to day, from wherever you are right now. I mean, I have a client right now who is um, going through this global retraction of wave of energy, and he's in India. So his reality is completely different from when I talk to someone here in California, Arizona, or even in Canada. So what we do is that from wherever you are, remember that it's globally. At the same time, you are a very important, powerful part of the equation. So the more you balance yourself by this very simple chakra technique, front and back, and infuse divine light into your celestial vortexes, or we call them your inner celestial home centers. It creates changes, allows you to stay in a state of empowerment, and you'll be able to more diffuse easily those satellite of influence convincing you otherwise. And you're going to start to see and perceive a much more higher picture and reality forming behind it. So I would say in a nutshell, if nothing else of tonight, extracting those aspects helps tremendously move everyone individually and as a cohesive collective together as a planetary family. And remember that ultimately we all part of Supreme Source or Source Supreme, which is embodying certain emanations that you call you ultimately.
Wow. That was perfect. What a great summary. Thank you so much for summarizing those points. I was taking notes, I wrote them down, so I will put them in the description below. So you guys can just copy and paste them and put them in your on your desktop or in your sticky notes or your journal or wherever you sit when you want to do, inner work, or just have them with you. Put them on your cell phone. These are such great, simple tips. And when we're in that moment of anxiety or fear or anger or whatever it is, we forget to stop and do these things. So if we have a physical, visual reminder, you'll be able to access it much more easily. Because, like, when you're mad, you can't stop and be like,
Neutrality,
neutrality.
neutrality.
Put
Remember,
it on.
park your car.
Yeah, put it on the dashboard of your car too.
Yeah, park your car, reset, breathe. Where am I going? What am I
Mhm.
accomplishing? Ah, that's right. I temporarily lose sight of higher perspective. I'm back now. Welcome back. And so that's very important. And remember, awakening process, it's much more than just acquiring knowledge and reading and meditating.
Yes,
It's
for
also
sure. Practicing and embodiment.
practicing. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I can't believe that 2 hours just flew by. It was such an honor to have you here with all of our audience members, and for this much time. Thank you so much for everything you do, Viviane, and everything you are, and all the people you help. And Jeff has one more comment. He says, I've noticed the sun's luminescent being brighter. Are the Arcturians using the sun for helping us?
Many beings do. The solar frequency are very important, and Arcturians also being very close to the great central sun as a source of energy and illumination, then it's also an aspect of it. So yes, many people, many beings do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, great observation, Jeff. I've also noticed that it's brighter and it looks more white to me, like more brilliant diamond white, where when I was a kid, I remember it being more yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's true or resonates with anyone, but it's just kind of my own observation.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. Thank you for that question, Jeff. And thank you, everyone in the chat room, for being here tonight. And again, thank you so much, Viviane. Where can people find you? I have some of your links, but why don't you share them with the audience?
Yes. Both our work with my collective and also for Peter's work for the Tensor technology, our work can be found at Infinite Healing from the Stars.com. Right here is popping. Oh, yeah, they're really active. This is our website, merge for energy as of service and infinite healing from the stars.com. This is where you can connect with us. We have a large library of video. We have a beautiful galactic store with Peter's work and all the amazing downloads that he creates in the form of copper art and
Mm-hmm.
very powerful ascending tools, as well as our services and beyond.
Awesome. And Viviane is also on Instagram at Viviane_Chauvet. Do you say Chauvet or Chauvet?
Yeah, Chauvet, it's good.
Okay. I noticed we say it differently. Twitter at Galactic V, and also LinkedIn at Viviane CH. Or is it your whole name? Viviane Chauvet. It's cut
Viviane
off on my.
Chauvet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. It's cut off on my link. Yeah, so there's lots of ways to find her, but obviously Infinite Healing from the Stars would probably be the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys definitely reach out and check out her work. And thank you so much again for being here. Hopefully we can do this again in a
Oh,
couple
most
months.
definitely.
Yeah, as we get through this ascension process together. I'm sure things are going to be shifting and changing, and would love to have you back on the show to give more updates and insights.
Absolutely. We are growing and blossoming alongside with you. This is very much an active part for the Arcturians from different level of the consciousness on different spectrum. We're definitely assisting you, making sure that you are succeeding in returning to your celestial origins.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Most
And
welcome.
for all of our friends out there, if you like this video, please like it, please share it. I'm excited to say that we've almost hit 1,000 followers on YouTube. So we need to get to 1,000 because then YouTube opens up all the tools and possibilities for us as a channel. So please tell your friends about the Ascension sessions if you like this show. I would be really grateful. And also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The Ascension Sessions. And if you'd like to support my work in other ways, please check out Divine Light Quantum Healing, where I make lovely essential oil elixirs that have crystals infused in the bottles and also jewelry. And you can find those at SherieAriano.com. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. And thanks to everyone in the chat room for showing up and holding space with us and bringing in your beautiful questions. We'll see you next time on the Ascension Sessions. Bye.
You are loved.
You are loved for sure.